Hello and welcome to Abu Dhabi, the host city to the 15th FINA World Swimming Championships. It is the last major competition of the year and the world's elite swimmers are going out on a high in this beautiful city. We are at the Etihad Arena on Yas Island. It's a brilliant setting and venue for these championships. We got off to a spectacular start yesterday on day one of this six-day meet. As we join the Etihad Arena now, we had a world record in the 200-metre freestyle for women to Hong Kong's Siobhan Jorge. That's right, an historic gold medal to Hong Kong on a night where the medals were shared around. Hong Kong, Canada, the USA, Italy, Austria, Japan, and the Russian Swimming Federation all enjoying the spoils of victory. And overall, we had 12 countries figuring in gold, silver and bronze out of close to 200 federations that are taking part here with around 1,100 competitors. So it is a massive, massive event. And we had a wonderful start to competition. Tonight we've got 8 finals coming up. Before we get to tonight though, we have to get through this program. The women's 4x50 metre medley relay is an unusual start to day 2, but that's the way it is. And then plenty of heats from the men's 200 free and ultimately the women's 800 metre freestyle. We will have heats rather than a timed final, so that will complete this morning's program. A lot to look forward to. Bobby Hurley is with me. Welcome once again, Bobby, and what a start we had yesterday.
Thanks, Mike. What a marvellous night of racing we had here in Abu Dhabi on the first of 6 final sessions. As you mentioned, highlighted by a world record to Siobhan Jorge in the women's 200 metres freestyle and another historic finish in the women's 4x100 metres freestyle relay with Canada and the United States tying for the gold medal.
So the introductions being made to the technical officials who play such an important role, and gee, there were some big decisions made yesterday, particularly when it came to the breaststroke, and some big name disqualifications there with, of course, the vision of the techniques underwater being viewed very carefully.
Yes, so 13 men and women disqualified yesterday in the breaststroke heats. So we saw big names like Alia Atkinson and Emre Sachi in the men's event get disqualified. Now this is the first FINA World Championships where the officials can use the underwater video footage to make a ruling on the spot. Previously it could only be used to review a disqualification or a protest. Now it can be used live to make official rulings, and that's why we're seeing a lot more disqualifications. So those breaststrokers, they better be on alert.
Yes, they have to be very careful. So it's an interesting start to the competition, and we've got so much to look forward to. Starting, as I mentioned, with the women's 4x50 metre medley relay. We'll move into the men's 200 freestyle. That is one of the strongest events here, the men's 200 freestyle. There is so much depth there, including the Olympic champion Tom Dean. Chad Leclos will be there as well, and a whole lot of others. So really looking forward to the men's 200 metre freestyle. That'll be the first of the individual events coming up this morning. Women's 100 free. A blue ribbon event as far as the women are concerned, and that will follow the men's 200 metres freestyle. So we'll get underway shortly. There was a good crowd on hand last night, and we expect for the final sessions the stands to pretty much be packed to capacity as we move along through this competition. The women's 4x50 medley relay to start proceedings, where the United States set a world record at Hangzhou in China 3 years ago, standing at 1:42.38. The United States will be the first of the teams we have a look at here as well. USA, China, we've got Turkey, Sweden, Netherlands, Switzerland and Hong Kong in heat 1 of 2.
Yes, there's been an addition to the short course World Championships program in the last few versions of this competition, introducing the 4x50 metre medley relays, freestyle relays, and also the mixed version of the 4x50 metre relays. So a lot more action and a lot more racing for our sprint specialists.
46 events, all carrying significant prize money as we head out into the call room. The girls in heat 2 await their chance as the girls in heat 1 arrive on the pool deck.
The United States out in lane 1 for this one without an entry time, but of course they are the world record holders from 3 years ago. This morning they've got Catherine Burkhoff leading them off, Escobedo, Curzon and Douglas. And the team from Sweden are in lane 4 with Rosvall, Fast, Hansen and Coleman.
There we have it once again, lanes 1 through 7. I'm led to believe that Turkey will not be starting, so we'll just have a glance down there at lane 3. I think that is going to be a vacant lane, according to what we have received, the information that's come our way. Certainly, we don't have any list of names of those. So into the water they go. Backstroke to be followed by breaststroke, butterfly and freestyle. No Turkey. Away we go in the first event on day 2 of heat swimming. Burkhoff leading off the United States, Peng of China, across to Rosevall of Sweden. Then you've got Giel of the Netherlands, the Swiss team led by Kost, and then you've got Orr of Hong Kong.
Yeah, Burkhoff from the United States, out to a great start. She's in the individual 100 metres backstroke final tonight, so no doubt a short course backstroking superstar. It's a big lead for the United States, and she hands off to Emily Escobedo on the breaststroke leg.
Yes, from the Netherlands and Sweden, a very sizable lead built up in the opening leg already. As I mentioned, breaststroke, the second leg, butterfly and freestyle. Escobedo swimming that second leg as far as the USA is concerned. Fast of Sweden and Bush of the Netherlands as they head down towards the second of the changeovers. Yeah,
China in lane 2, starting to move up on the United States through this breaststroke leg. That's Tang having a really good second leg swim for the Chinese women, and Yu Yiting is in the water as well. Just 0.11 separate them.
Terrific second leg that by China as we're into the important butterfly leg. We're halfway through it. It's the United States over there in lane number 1. China alongside them in lane 2. The middle lanes, it's Sweden and the Netherlands occupying 3rd and 4th as we head down to the last of the changeovers. The freestylers are ready.
Yeah, big butterfly leg from Chroma with Jojo from the Netherlands, the Dutch world record holder, sprinting superstar. She's got the Netherlands back into this one, but that was a great changeover by Kate Douglas from the United States. The United States look like they're going to take out this heat.
United States are leading. It's Sweden in second place, followed by China. But it's Kate Douglas of the USA who will bring them home. It's going to be very tight for second. Sweden perhaps. Sweden edged out by China as it turned out. So the USA, then China, Sweden and the Netherlands in heat 1.
Yes, another relay victory for the United States. They tied for gold last night in the 4x100 metres freestyle relay. A historic tie gold medal that one was. The Swedish team there in lane 4 did enough to come 3rd in that heat. There's just 2 heats of this relay, so you would think that the top 4 teams from 2 heats will make the final. The Swedish team no doubt will bring in Sarah Sjöström tonight.
Here's the result of that first heat with the USA taking it out in 144.50 over China and Sweden. Second heat will take place in just a moment. There we have Belarus swimming out of lane 1, Canada out of 7. And in the middle lanes there, the Russian Swimming Federation and Italy.
It's an impressive team Canada have put out in this heat. They're all the way down in lane 7, but they've got Carly Mars on the backstroke, followed by Pickram, Savard and Maggie McNeil. So watch for Canada to perform well in this heat.
Into the water, Skurdai it is of Belarus leading them out. Then you've got Paljam Jumras of Thailand, Muller of France, Kameneva of the Russian Swimming Federation. It'll be Scalia of Italy, Patoka of Slovakia, and Nas of Canada. And an even start here. Yes, the Canadians are going to be at the bottom of the screen as we have a look from underwater up on top, and the Canadians given a great start by Kylie Maas.
Yeah, one of the best backstroke starters in the world is Kylie Maas. She's an Olympics medalist from the 100 meters event this past summer in Tokyo, and she will be one of the favorites for the individual 100 meter race tonight. She's getting the Canadians out to a good lead, but it's pretty close with Shkurdai from Belarus in lane 1 and also Kameneva from the Russian Swimming Federation in lane 4.
Into the second leg, and the Canadians with a narrow lead, but they've got a strong all-round team here. Sydney Pickram is swimming this second leg, the breaststroke. Over there, as far as the Russian Swimming Federation's concerned, it's Chikhanova.
You can see how important those relay changeovers are. They touch the wall together at the same time, but the Canadians got much better of the relay changeovers. So that's Pickram heading over to Catherine Savard. She swam that really strong fourth leg spot last night in that gold medal winning relay team. So she's got so much relay experience, but it's tight across the field with about 4 or 5 teams.
Yes, the 2 yellow lanes there of the Russian Swimming Federation, and also Italy in lane number 5. Right up there. In fact, they've closed the gap, and let's keep our eyes on Belarus as well as we're into the final leg.
Yeah, Canada still in the lead down there in lane number 7. Maggie McNeil in the water now. She's the Olympic champion in the 100 meters butterfly, and she really likes to stay underwater and use that full 15 meters to kick. There she is down the bottom, still underwater, holding that lead.
So it's going to be Canada, challenged now by Italy, but the Canadians will hold on. Italy finishing second, the Russian Swimming Federation in third, and Belarus, a very good effort by the team out there in lane 1, Belarus. They finished in 4th placing and should make it through to the final, you would suggest.
Yeah, very similar times to what we saw in heat number 1. The Canadian team without an entry time, so they're in one of the outside lanes. But we do quite often see that, especially in new relay events like the 4x50 meter medley relay. And McNeil, there she's down the bottom in the black cap, only took 1 breath on that whole second 25 meters, which is incredibly difficult to do. And she holds on to get the win for the Canadians in heat number 2.
A slower time than the first heat, but Canada win it in 1:45.17 over Italy and the Russian Swimming Federation. Belarus in 4th, followed by France, Slovakia and Thailand. Moving on to the individual events now, but first of all, let's see how this final will take place. USA and Canada will have the middle lanes, Italy and China, Sweden, the Russian Swimming Federation, the Netherlands and Belarus. They're the 8 teams who will be swimming for gold, silver and bronze. France, the unlucky number 9 team there, so the first reserve. About to see the first of the individual events as the flags, the backstroke flags are moved because we're into freestyle now. This busy second day of competition here at the Etihad Arena. The men's 200 metres freestyle, where Paul Biederman set that world record in the fast suit era back in Rome 2009, well, that was where the championships were. The record actually set in Berlin, and it stood the test of time, 1:39.37. Starters in heat 1 with Cuba, Kuwait, Gibraltar, Eritrea, Kyrgyzstan and Northern Mariana Islands all represented. Away we go with Navarro Foya of Cuba, the swimmer in lane 2, then Alatia of Kuwait, Savitz of Gibraltar, Baraki of Eritrea, Omarov of Kyrgyzstan and Suzuki from the Northern Mariana Islands. 200 metres of freestyle, the first of 8 heats.
Yeah, 8 heats this morning. Only the top 8 qualifiers will make it through to the final, and as we progress through each of these 8 heats, that's where we get more and more big names and faster entry times, and there's certainly a lot of star power in this event, the men's 200 freestyle. But right now, heat 1 in the water. It's Baraki in lane 6, sorry, Omarov, sorry, in that blue cap there with the pink suit. That's going to lead this one through the 100-meter mark.
Omarov it is who leads, with Navarro Foya in second place. Suzuki from the Northern Mariana Islands, he is in third placing, and they work their way up the pool. They've completed 100, now almost 125, so they're well over the halfway mark.
Yeah, none of these swimmers in heat number 1 with an entry time, and as we mentioned yesterday, that could be to do with just the lack of short course racing and international racing that the world has had over the last 2 years due to the pandemic. So he was out very fast across the first 100 meters in 54 seconds. So he'll be looking for a time around about 1 minute 54 or better, I think, which would be very solid out of heat number 1.
So they'll bring it home now, and we'll get this first heat out of the way. Swimmer from Eritrea there has just been passed as the finish is achieved there by Omarov of Kyrgyzstan, Navarro Foya and Suzuki, the Savits, and finishing back there in 5th placing would be Alatia with Baraki, still with around about 30 metres to swim.
Yeah, good swim from Ramazan Omarov to take out the first heat. He's already heading out of the pool. We still have 1 competitor left to finish this 200 meters freestyle.
So it'll be good to get a time on the board here as far as Baraki of Eritrea is concerned. His first appearance at World Championships, and he wouldn't have had international competition like this before, so he's pleased to get a time on the board and take that home to compete and inspire other wannabe international swimmers.
Yeah, really good effort this morning to complete that race and represent his country to the best of his ability. It was fairly fast in heat number 1 from the rest of the competitors, and 16-year-old Omarov there on camera swimming a 1 minute 52.
Just 1:52.68 to be precise. The winner of heat 2. 4 of them under the 2-minute barrier. Start list for heat 2 as the swimmers are called onto the blocks here. Gossman and Hernandez in the yellow lanes. So off they go here. Lima was listed to start from lane 8, but that lane is vacant. We've got Pop of Guam, Husan of Nepal, then Sup of the United Arab Emirates. Petrovsky is from the Northern Mariana Islands, or North Macedonia, apologies. Gossman is swimming out of lane number 4 for Guatemala, and the Nicaraguan swimmer there, Hernandez, in 5. Batbaya is the swimmer in 6, and they head down, completing the first of the 50 metres, and we've got a couple really showing out in the early stages there. Across in lane 2, Sup is probably our race leader.
Yeah, the local swimmer from the United Arab Emirates, that's Sup in lane number 2. Just 16 years old. He's taking it out quick, trying to get an early lead on the rest of the field. It's going to be challenged by Batbaya, both of them out in a low 54 seconds. So really taking it out fast in heat number 2 is the 16-year-old Sapt and the 17-year-old Batbaya.
Batbaya with a narrow advantage. We've got just over 50 to swim. They'll go down for the last of the turns at the start-finish end. And now perhaps it's Sapt who's taken over from Batbaya as they turn at the 150-metre mark. The margin is almost a second. Gossman is swimming in third place for Guatemala.
Yeah, it's been a really courageous race so far from Sapt. He hasn't really let up at all. He went out fast over that first 50. He's kept his kick, his feet coming out of the water. You see he's got the strongest kick of the field as he puts his head down for that last 10 metres.
And he's really kicked away. He's got an entry time of 2:08.88, and his, well, you can only imagine that's a time over the long course, because he has absolutely crunched the time here. A really good swim. Batbaya finishing second, Gossman followed by Hernandez.
Yeah, top quality swim from Galib Sapt, the local hero here. A strong applause from the crowd that's in attendance. 16 seconds quicker than his entry time. He's up the top in the white cap. He got away quick over the first 50 metres, but Bayo tried to go with him for most of the race, but really fell off towards the end. And you can see he was able to hold that strong kick for the whole 200 metres part of the race. Kept his freestyle rhythm, breathing every 2 strokes. And he wins heat number 2 by a fairly large margin.
He's the youngster doing a terrific job. 152.94, 155.82 for second, heat 2. The field there for the third heat. And it looks like a non-starter there in lane number 5. So in lane 4 with the fastest qualifying time, it's Balajek representing Bosnia and Herzegovina. And in the white cap, he's already out by 3/4 of a body length on his left side there. It's Idaskard of the Faroe Islands. And down in lane number 9, Allison from the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, Balajek with a quick opening split, 24.6. He's got that straight arm freestyle recovery stroke, so rather than bend his arm with a high elbow on top of the water like the traditional freestyle, he really comes across with a straight arm to make sure he's reaching as far in front of his head as he can and taking bigger strokes. So he's out there pretty quick in 52.1. We'll see how he can hold this for the last 100 metres of the race.
Yes, the lead almost 2 seconds, which is a massive lead after the 100. Allison holding down second place. He's swimming from lane 9 and being now challenged in lane number 6 there by Mohammed Gargovic, who's in the red cap in lane number 7.
Yeah, starting to fade ever so slightly is Belajak. He's swimming this race more like a sprint freestyler with that straight arm technique, so it does get really tiring and those arms are starting to get heavier and heavier as the field starts to close in on him.
But Nikola Belajak of Bosnia and Herzegovina remains our leader here. This has been a really good swim by the swimmer from the Cayman Islands in lane number 9, Allison. He might win it here. Allison has got up right at the death. Wonderful swim by Allison. Second, it was Balajek, who must have thought he had it won. He probably couldn't see Allison in lane 9, but he was never far away. He was challenged at around the 150-metre mark. He dropped back probably to around about 4th placing, but he was able to kick again.
Yeah, great last 50 metres from James Richard Allison. He's swimming 9 seconds quicker than his entry time. Saved that sprint up for the finish. He's pumped with that one. Just 15 years of age from the Cayman Islands, swimming a huge best time to win heat 3.
And he wins it by almost 1/4 of a second there, 0.22 of a second between first and second, the Cayman Islands over Bosnia and Herzegovina. And a really good swim. Start list for heat 4 as we edge towards the halfway mark of the men's 200 metres freestyle. Algeria represented in 0. Namibia, Malta, Vietnam, India, Venezuela, Norway, Syria, Moldova and Angola. And it looks like it's lane 6, the scratching on this occasion. Christensen of Norway electing not to swim. As lane number 5, it is Mr. Vivas. We saw him in action yesterday. He was a very good heat swimmer yesterday. He's leading from Prakash in lane 4, and in lane number 1, it's Xander Skinner of Namibia.
Yeah, eyes on Alfonso Mestre Vives in the bottom of the yellow lanes there, leading it out in the blue cap. He was a finalist in the 400 meters last night. He qualified for that final out of one of the early unseeded heats, so he surprised everybody. And in that 400 meter heat, he was the fastest through the halfway point at 200 meters. So he's going to attack this race. He's going to need to post a time of around about 1 minute 42, 1 minute 43, I think, to put his name in the hat to qualify for the 200 meter final later on, because we still have 3 fast seeded heats to come after him.
He's got that high rolling, rollicking action, Mr. Vivas. It's effective, and as Bobby mentioned, he swam a very fast first half of the 400 yesterday, equating to the 200 right now. So we're going to be interested in the time that he ends up getting here, as he's got 50 to go, and he leads it by nearly 3 seconds over Skinner and Prakash. Yeah,
he's got that bouncing freestyle stroke, a lot of energy going in towards moving his head up and down rather than smooth and forward. He doesn't look quite as nice as he did yesterday in that 400 meters, but he's really starting to sprint home this last 25.
Probably took a fair bit out of him that morning swim yesterday, and he goes in now and he takes out this heat, heat number 4, and he records a time of 1:44.26. Prakash second, and Skinner was third in front of Ewan.
1:44.26 to take out heat number 4. I don't think that'll be good enough to be top 8 once everything is done and dusted this morning in the men's 200 meters freestyle. As we mentioned, he had to swim 2 400 meter races last night, and with somebody with not a whole lot of experience at a world championship level, racing a heat and a final in a tough race like the 400 freestyle, that definitely takes a lot of energy out of you.
And there's not much left in the tank as far as he's concerned, but he did the job required here. 1:44.26, Prakash 1:46.61. Halfway through the heats of the men's 200 meters freestyle, heat 5 now. We have a full field of 10 here with Schroeders in 0, Elkamash. And then we've got Krila Hashvili in lane number 2, Hong, Yantchev and Manas from Bulgaria and Luxembourg respectively in the yellow lanes, Chuk of Hong Kong, Sobe of Barbados, Sangawarawong of Thailand and Morales of Colombia. And a nice even start here. First to show out would be lane number 3 there, that's Hong.
Yeah, full heat of freestylers now in heat number 5. It is Hong from China, 24.3, so pretty quick through the first 50 meters. Just 18 years of age. We haven't seen too much of him at the international level. His entry time is 1:47.2, but I expect this heat to go well under that time.
So Hong leads at the halfway mark. He's got a break of 1.43 over Yantchev from lane 4. And it'll be Elkamash holding down third. After that, there's not a lot to sort out anyway at this point, because in the 25-meter pool with 10 lanes in use, they are all bunched together.
Yeah, he looks good, Hong. He had the lead at the 100-meter mark and then really picked up his pace through that third 50. And you can see he's increased that lead. He's almost doubled his lead, as the swimmer in lane number 4 was close to him just 50 meters ago. Now he's about 3 body lengths back. So he's going to take out this heat, Hong. Let's see what time he can post.
Real battle for the second and third positions. Elkamash holding down second in lane number 1 and Schroeder's in third place. But no doubt about our heat winner here, Hong of China. It was Schroeder's over Elkamash in the battle for second and Morales in lane number 9 taking fourth. So the time 1:44.78 for Hong of China in heat 5.
Convincing win. He seems content with that one. We've seen a lot of great Chinese male freestylers this past decade or so with a lot of success at the international level. Now Hong is representing his country here in the 200 meters freestyle events.
He got the best of the start, a reaction time of 0.6. So that is very quick off the blocks. Hong 1:44.78 taking out heat 5, and well clear of Schroeder's and Elkamash. On to the 6th heat now. Tom Dean of Great Britain not starting. Well, that is big news here. The Olympic champion not competing.
Neither is Leclos, who was slated for lane 7.
So the first of the seeded heats here, it leaves Marcos of Greece in 0, the Tullio of Italy, Unlu of Turkey. You've got Sartori of Brazil, Hang Sung-woo 7th in Tokyo and winner on the World Cup circuit, the Korean in 4, Dean a non-starter, leaving Kiampi of Italy in 6. And then we move down to Lokdev of Israel, and the Singapore swimmer Lim in lane 9 is also out. So a depleted field, but that's big news with probably the 2 favourites not competing.
Yeah, I think Leclos is going to rest up for the 100 fly, which is later this morning. Tom Dean didn't swim great yesterday in the relay or the 400 metres event, so we'll wait and see what the report out of the Great Britain camp is there. But this Korean swimmer in lane 4, Hwang Sun-woo, he is really exciting to watch. The Tokyo Olympics, he led that race for 150 metres courageously before fading back to 7th, but he's got so much easy speed. He's only short in stature, but he swims really long and smooth and has a great big kick behind him. So he posted a fast time at the FINA World Cup circuit just a few months ago, and he looks like he's in control of this heat.
He's through the 150 metre mark. It's a Wang in front from Kiampi, and he'll go up and turn. He looks beautiful through the water. He's got a smooth action, and as we have a look at the last of the turns there, the swimmer in lane number 4, Hwang Sun-woo. He's looking pretty comfortable. He's got the challenge on either side in lane 3 and the cross in lane number 6, but Hwang Sun-woo good enough to win it from Kiampi and then settling Sartori of Brazil.
Yeah, comfortable heat swim there from Hwang Sun-woo. Took a double breath to finish just to see where his competitors were and make sure he gets his hand on the wall first. A bit of inexperience there for the 18-year-old, but we saw him make 2 finals at the Tokyo Olympic Games in the long course version of the 100 and 200 meters freestyle event, and he looks very comfortable short course as well. He did post a time not long ago of 1:41.17, and if he can qualify for that final and reproduce that time, he'll be in the hunt for the gold medal, no doubt.
Well, the event's opened up for him now with no Dean and no Leclos, so we could have just witnessed the man heading towards a gold medal, Hwang Sun-woo, later in these championships. Heat 7, Kieran Smith of the United States, one to watch in 0, Rapsis in 4, Kroon in 5. So Smith of the United States, Sloan is in 1, then Orbach, the gold medalist in the 400 free, he's in 2. But as we have a look at them now, Kieran Smith and Djokovic, and they're about to turn for the final time. 200 metres freestyle. Smith in lane 0. Just leads ever so narrowly. Down there in lane 7, it's Djokovic. They the time of
Djokovic there on camera, tying for second. 142.82. Rapsis in the middle of the pool just saved his sprint for the last 50 metres. It should be good enough to get him into the final, but it's...
So the final heat, but I think on paper it doesn't look as strong as the previous heat. Duncan Scott and David Popovic in 4 and 5. Sheffer and McMillan on either side.
There's Popovic on camera, the exciting 17-year-old Romanian. Let's see what he can serve up in the last heat.
In lane 0, it's Tees of Belgium, then Zirk of Estonia, Stepanovic of Serbia, Sheffer of Brazil, Scott of Great Britain, and Popovic of Romania in the middle lanes, McMillan of Ireland, and then Shegelov of the Russian Swimming Federation, and then Potain of France, and Vargas of Peru. And there's not a lot in it as they complete the first 50.
No, not a lot in it, but it will be Fernando Sheffer taking it out fast. He was the bronze medalist in this race at the Olympic Games, behind Tom Dean, who didn't swim, anchoring that relay team for the Russian Swimming Federation last night. So expecting him to finish this one off. Popovic just falling back a little bit. The youngster just trying to get a bit more international experience, but it looks like Sheffer and Scott here, they're going to need to be in 142s to make this final.
Sheffer it is who leads, and the challenge is coming from lane number 7. There's Shegelov, and now through goes Scott. Big finish by Scott, but he's unable to mow down Sheffer. So Sheffer from Scott and Shegelovic.
Winner last night, but he's better suited to the longer events. I think we'll see him in the 1500 metre freestyle later this at any World Championships now. Kate Campbell not here. Sarah Sostrom will line up in this one. Chromo with Jojo will not.
The first heat of 9 for the women's 100 metres freestyle. And Kutazova it is in 0, and then Adams, Vesta from Palau in lane number 9. Early leader here showing out in lane 2. It's Elisa Vestergaard of the Faroe Islands. 2, it's Elisa Vestergaard of the Faroe Islands.
Yeah, taking it in heat number 1 in most of these events. So coming into the last lap, women down in lane.
In the end, about half a length, if that, over Ip of Mauritius. And then Kutazova it was back in 3rd placing, swimming out of lane 0. So spread right across the pool here, the place getters in heat 1.
Yes, Vestergaard from the Faroe Islands. Good to see swimming representatives coming out of the Faroe Islands. I think Pal Jonsson put them on the map a couple of years ago. First 50 metres of this race.
3rd. Really good swimming there, good racing in heat 2, winning time of 102.76.
Yes, Tanduka had that.
In fact, the finish, I should say, I was thinking it was 200 for the moment. She's going to win it and win it very comfortably in the end. So she extended her lead in the closing stages. Batbaya, and it was Passard who was able to grab 2nd placing, swimming out of lane number 1. Batbaya's winning time, 57.25.
Yeah, great swim from Batbaya there. 2.5 seconds quicker than her entry time. She took it out fast from the start. She had that longer straight arm version of freestyle, which you can hold for the shorter 150 meter events. Hard to do over anything longer than that. And she really didn't fade at all. Evenly paced, and she got a great result.
The result of heat number 3. 2 sub-minute swims. Here we have the starters in heat 4 with Gabriela Santos of Guatemala in heat 4, with Gabriela Santos of Guatemala in lane 4 with the fastest of the entry times. Schutzmeier of Nicaragua in lane number 5. Istanbuli it is in 0, and then Jackson and Chiara, Farrow, Santos and Schutzmeier I mentioned in 4 and 5, Ferguson, Bodbian, Sousa and Pokoshin is the swimmer in lane number 9 from Armenia.
Yeah, more even racing now in heat number 4 of this women's 100 meters freestyle. It's there in lane 5, Schutzmeier with that long, smooth freestyle stroke. She's close to the lead, but she's not in the lead. That goes to Farrow in lane 3. Turns first in 27.3. And Jackson from the Cayman Islands not too far away.
So lane number 3, Chloe Farrow of Aruba turns and has a narrow lead. Across in lane number 1, it's Alison Jackson of the Cayman Islands. She's in the blue cap and she's challenging. She might almost take the lead as I look down now to Schutzmeier, who finishes hard. And Schutzmeier in lane number 5 takes it out. Farrow and Jackson second and third. And Istanbuli of Lebanon in lane number 0 gets 4th placing. Yes, you can see the pace quickening as we go through the heats.
Yeah, 56.9. She really had a strong sprint that last 25 meters in the red suit there. Got off to a quick start. Just saved a little bit of energy through the middle portion of the race. Was 3rd at the halfway point, but she really brought in the kick there and wins that one by about a stroke. Happy with the time. Gives a smile. Straight under the lane ropes and out of the pool onto the next one.
All of them under the minute here. And I mentioned those times quickening as you expect as you move through the heats. That was heat 4 and still 5 remaining. Heat 5 now. Ramirez Bella is in 0, and then Blashevska, Neely, Costea, Petkova, Sapianchi, Moore, Lara, Marin and Alas of El Salvador, the swimmer in lane number 9, as they've completed the first 25 metres. And in lane number 4, it's Diana Petkova, who is our leader.
Yeah, Petkova with a great first turn there, taking it out hard, 25.6. You can see how good she is on that underwater kicking phase of the race, extending her lead out. She's got about a body length over Mealy, above her in lane 3, and about 2 body lengths over the rest of the field.
So the race to the finish, and it looks like it's almost a case of put your glasses down, because in lane number 4 it's Petkova of Bulgaria. She leads. In second place it's going to be taken by Costea, and Miller will get 3rd placing, followed by Moore of Bermuda. Winning time here 54.05 in heat 5.
Yes, another personal best time, or significantly quicker than her entry time. There she is diving in from lane 4 in the blue suit. Had that straight arm freestyle, which we're starting to see more and more often from these sprint swimmers. No breathing that last 6 strokes into the finish. Narrowly misses getting under the 54-second mark for the first time. She's the quickest through the heats so far.
With that time of 54.05. The top 16 making it through to the semi-final stage of the women's 100 metres freestyle. As we have a look at the starters here in heat number 6. So heat 6, the last of the unseeded heats with Pavlich and then Antonio, Kim, Barrett, Littlejohn. Then it's Gorinovics, Gudmundsdottir, Maluka and Osman. And Chan is a scratching from lane number 9. In lane 4, with the fastest of the entry times, Laura Littlejohn of New Zealand. Looks as if she may have had the lead, but Antonio was who really finished that first 50 in style.
Yeah, a few more familiar big names coming through here. There's Frida Osman from Egypt down the bottom there in lane 8 as well. She's a former World Championship medalist.
Leading, Laura Littlejohn, and she has enough in the tank to touch the wall in first placing over Barrett. And then it was Antonio who led at the halfway mark, and she ended up finishing in 3rd place.
John, slightly faster than her.
Now the
Medal, so speed here, usual.
And now we've got Siobhan Jorge, who is $50,000 richer after breaking a world record last night. She's the swimmer in lane number 4 here. Yes, Jorge, the one to watch here. She was the silver medalist in Tokyo, and of course a world record holder, and taking a gold medal here on night 1 of the championships. Jorge Anderson.
No hangover from that gold medal and world record performance last night. The only swimmer to break 52 seconds this morning. She's been as fast as 50.9 already this season. That championships as well as relays for her on the podium last.
Henry and Usmanov.
Yeah, a bit of movement on the blocks from one of the swimmers. Could just see that out of the corner of my years of age. It's a quick time, 52.5, sorry. There he is at the bottom of the screen. Breathe every second stroke, as the coach always tells you to do. Head down on that last stroke into the wall. Sizable victory in heat 1. And he should be pleased with that.
So there we see the result of that first heat. Usmanov by just over a second. Heat 2. Guinea, Mongolia, Gibraltar, Tanzania, Curacao, North Macedonia, Tonga, Burundi, Guyana and Ethiopia all represented. Flying start there from lane number 4. That was Bernardina off the blocks very, very quickly. And then Tchaikovsky is in lane number 5. Didn't get the same quality start, but Hui it is of Tonga in lane number 6. Also prominent.
Yeah, Bernardina quickest off the blocks. 0.63 of a second was his reaction time to get off the block. So he leads this one out through the first 50 meters. 24.83. He's the oldest competitor of this field. He's got the most experience and he's using that to his advantage here. Let's see if he can get under his entry time of 56 seconds.
And when he is the oldest, he's the only one born before the year 2000. So I know we're getting old and the swimmers are getting younger, but this 22-year-old is pretty impressive here. Bernardina taking out heat number 2 here. And he records a time of 54.45. Noah Arfi was in second placing, and Bat Munk in third.
There is the winner of heat number 2 on camera. 2 seconds quicker than his entry time. He was quick off the blocks the red blocks we have here at these championships. Stayed underwater well off his turns. There he is. And didn't breathe those last 2 strokes onto the finish. So textbook swim, textbook win from Bernardina.
54.45, and that's a big margin between first and second. 57.13 for second and 57.20 for third. Qatar and the Dominican Republic with the outside lanes here. Sri Lanka and Angola in the middle in heat 3. The silver it is in 4 with an entry time of 54.77. Gordo of Angola is in 5. Vega Torres and Quintanilla in 3 and 6. As they complete the first 25 metres, 4 laps of this 25-metre pool for the 100-metre butterflies.
Yeah, it was Quintanilla in 6 that had the best of the starts, but it looks like up there in lane number 1 now, Vasquez is going to turn first in 24.9. So most of these swimmers in heat 3 have entry times of around 54 seconds. Remember, we did see that 52 point out in heat 1 from Usmanov. So the swimmers would have seen that one, and it looks like Vasquez still in the lead.
And Vasquez it is in lane 1. Coming through in lane number 6 here, Quintanilla, and Vasquez it is who's strong enough to hold out and win over Quintanilla, with Velazadi of Azerbaijan filling 3rd placing. Gonzalez Ramirez swam a good race in lane number 9 for the Dominican Republic, and he finished in 4th.
Diving into the water, the swimmers in heat 3, full field, tight on the finish. Up there in lane 1, it was Vasquez, but second, third, and fourth were only a few tenths of a second away. As the heats progress, the racing gets closer and closer.
Yes, 53.91 the winning time here, and then a string of them in that 54-second range. Heat 3. As we have a look at now the swimmers in heat number 4 here, and again the names that have been more prominent at World Championship level over the last few years. So lane 8 is empty here. We've got Kessel of the Ukraine and also Hocken of Paraguay in 4 and 5. Have Gary and Almatrushi in lanes 3 and 6. Almatrushi from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, we've seen Hocking for a number of years at a World Championship level, race many events. Here he is again, lane 5, touching second at the turn in this 100 butterfly. And Kessel in lane 4, the Ukrainian. We've seen him in World Championship finals over 200 meters. So we'll see what he can do towards the back end of this 100 as everybody else gets tired. But it's still Afghari in 3 that's going to lead this one.
Afghari looking strong, and he's extended the lead. He's got 5 to swim. Afghari is going to win it very comfortably indeed. And we've got Hocken in 2nd place and Kessel 3rd. Winning time here, 51.87, so breaking the 52-second mark in what was heat number 4 of 9.
Great swim there from Afghari to swim a almost 2-second personal best time and get under that 52-second barrier. So he's just off screen there. That was Kessel and Hocking diving in lanes 4 and 5. Hocking had a great start, but Afghari had the superior swimming stroke. Blue cap and blue suit there on the left side. The 20-year-old wins heat number 4. And
winning in that time of 51.87. Almost a full second in front of Hocken. Heat 5. Dylan Carter has been prominent for Trinidad and Tobago over a long period of time. He's in 3. So heat number 5 of 9 here. Abdul Razak of Kuwait is in 4, and alongside him Thailand's Wong Charon with Miljanek of Croatia in lane 6.
Yeah, Dylan Carter, the biggest name here, leading this one through the first wall. Lane number 3 in that white cap from Trinidad and Tobago. He has won World Championship medals in the past in the 50-metre butterfly. We'll see how he can hold on over 100 metres, but that split, 23.1. That's a very quick 50-metre split time.
He's in the white cap there in lane number 3, Dylan Carter. And he leads as they have completed 75, and he's got a handy break over lane number 6 here, Miljanek of Croatia. In the red cap, who's finishing very hard. He might almost get it on the touch. This is awfully tight, but Carter it is in front, and Carter takes it out in 50.22. The margin is 1/100th of a second.
Almost another dead heat. No, great heat swim from both swimmers, Carter and Miljanek. 50.2. That'll be good enough to make the semi-finals. And that could be pressing for a final spot as well when they get into the action tonight. So we know Dylan Carter's got the speed over the first 50 metres. Now here are the two swimmers who came in at different strokes, but Carter, a bit more pressure coming in onto the touchpad on a shorter stroke, sets it off first.
And that's as tight as it gets without it being a dead heat. Carter over Miljanek, and a second further back is Musin of Kazakhstan. So heat number 6 of 9 here. Edwards of Canada in lane 4, Gonzalez of Spain in lane number 5. Well, it was Gonzalez in 5. He's not starting. So the last of the unseeded heats here, and we watch out for the swimmers in the middle lanes. They're generally more prominent. Lane 6 getting away really nicely here. That's the Egyptian Yusuf Ramadan. He had a very good first 25 metres. In lane number 4, it's Edwards of Canada.
Yeah, really good underwaters and turns for Ramadan in lane number 6. He turns first, 22.9, so you can just see how the split times are getting quicker and quicker, and he's using the full 15 metres underwater is the Egyptian Ramadan. Watch him there, still underwater. That's the 10-metre mark there on the red marks on the lane ropes, and there's the 15.
Ramadan by half a length in front of Edwards of Canada, and Ramadan stops the clock in a time of 49.66, so he's gone under the 50-second mark. 50 seconds exactly for second.
Beautiful swim there from Yusuf Ramadan. Under 50 seconds for the first time. Anything under 50, that's a world-class performance from the 19-year-old swimmer from Egypt. Gets a strong applause from the crowd here. They're very happy to see a local hero performing well. He will find himself in the semi-finals, no doubt. And that was a beautiful swim.
Just waiting on this result to be confirmed before we move along to the seeded heats. It was a terrific effort there by Ramadan, a 19-year-old from Egypt. But the technical officials are just checking on something, so there could be some nervous swimmers out there at the moment. 3 heats remaining. As I mentioned, 3 heats remaining. So in the call room, we've got Tom Shields, amongst others. Chad Leclos is swimming, at least he's listed to swim the final heat. Shields in heat number 8. They are 2 of the biggest name competitors here in this men's 100 metres butterfly. And we await to see what the technical officials come up with.
Yeah, they might be looking at Ramadan there, the heat winner. He was really using that full 15 metres underwater.
Okay, let's check on this result. And it's all clear, 2 non-starters, but Ramadan gets his win in 49.66 over Edwards 50 flat. Heat number 7. Revolta of Italy, Zabo of Hungary in 4 and 5. And Verhoeven of the Netherlands in 1. Ponti, the silver medalist in the 200 flyers in lane number 1. Martinez, Lanza, Revolta and Zabo. And then Shevliakov, Cholo Santos, Cleanse and Cronin making up the field in the first of the seeded heats.
Yeah, the big names are out here. There's Matteo Revolta. Beautiful underwater there. The Italian swimmer in the black cap. He broke the national record just a month ago. But touching first, that's Noe Ponti, the Swiss swimmer up in lane 1. Silver medalist, as you mentioned, in the 200 metre distance. So you wouldn't imagine he's going to fade too much here at all. And Sabo, the world record holder over 50 metres, is well back in the field.
So Ponti in the white cap in lane 1, a medalist last night has indicated, a bronze medalist at the Olympics, and he brings his form here to Abu Dhabi, and he takes out heat number 7, the first of the seeded heats in the 100 butterfly. Second, it was Revolta, and Lanza was third, followed by Martinez.
Yeah, great swim there, backing up after a tough 200 metre butterfly final last night. Noe Ponti to win that heat. There's Revolta in the black cap diving in, second in this heat. And he'll be one of the big names come semi-final and final time. That's the margin there. We're starting to see those times get quicker and quicker. And Noe Ponti, the Swiss swimmer, is really making a name for himself this past 12 months.
49.49 for Ponti. Now, the second last of the heats, Tom Shields, he just dominated the World Cup circuit, winning all 4 of those meets. He's in lane 4. From Belarus, Pekarski, lane number 6. So in those middle lanes, it's Shields expected to be the favourite here. Vas on either side, Lamberti and Pekarski from Italy and Belarus respectively.
Yeah, so much short course racing experience from Tom Shields. As you said, had a great FINA World Cup series just a few months ago. There's not too much separating them right now. Shields in 4. It's going to be Boucher who touches first and Tomo Havas in lane 5. But watch for these turns from Shields. White cap, yellow lanes. It's pretty close this heat.
Also Michael Andrew from the United States, the second of the Americans. He's in 1, but he's a little off the pace at the moment. The action in the middle of the pool. Shields in lane number 4, but it's still Boucher in 2. Shields is finishing hard. Also there, Vas. It's Vas who ends up getting it from Lamberti and Boucher, equal second, and Shields was 4th.
Yeah, look at that for close racing. 4 swimmers within a few 100ths of each other. Havas getting the win in 50.51. Shields only gets his hand on the wall in 4th, and it's not fast in that 50.5 second mark. He was slow off the blocks, Tom Shields. 0.75 reaction time was about 0.1 of a second slower than everybody else. It was a very conservative heat swim from him and everybody in that heat, as we have already seen a number of 49-second swims so far through the heat, so they could be in danger of missing this one.
This 2 100ths of a second separating the top three, and 6 100ths of a second the top four. So here we have the final heat coming up. Chad Leclos in lane number 4, the defending champion, the bronze medalist last night in the 200 fly, and the bronze medalist in Gwangju at the last World Long Course Championships. What can Chad do, having scratched in an early event today?
Yeah, really narrowing his focus into these butterfly events at these championships. He was the bronze medalist in the 200-meter distance last night. He's going to get pushed from Castanje from the Netherlands up there in lane number 1. But Leclos really loves this 100-meter distance. He's got a few challenges out in 1 and lane 8 as well. Minakov down there from the Russian Swimming Federation.
Yes, Minakov, the silver medalist in Gwangju and a finalist in Tokyo. He's in lane number 8 and he's thrown out the challenge now. Leclos back there in 3rd place, maybe even 4th, and Minakov it is who wins. Really good swim by the swimmer from the Russian Swimming Federation. Kostinu in 2nd place. And Leclos has ended up 4th behind Majeski.
Oh, wow. A lot of big names are going to miss out here. That was a much quicker heat than the previous one. Minakov and Kostanu getting under 50 seconds. As we wait for the results, there's a lot of nervous people waiting. Leclos faded back to 4th there. Very unlike the former world record holder. He's got a personal best of 48.0, but clearly not in peak form at these championships. He's had a number of injuries to deal with in 2021, and we're seeing those outside lanes surprise everybody. But we know the name Andrei Minakov, now trains out of Stanford and performing really well in that one.
So there was the time, 49.6 for Minakov, and it's going to be a case of who's done enough to get through to the top 16? Well, we'll find out in just a tick here at the Etihad Arena after the heats of the men's 100 metres butterfly. Ponti with the fastest time going through. Minakov swam the 2nd fastest time, and Rabandan with that impressive swim from Egypt in 49.66. Leclos makes it through with the 11th fastest time. Tom Shields scrapes in as the last of the qualifiers.
Wow, that's what I was worried about. That would have been huge if Shields missed out. 16th fastest through there. Leclos and Shields just not on top of their game this morning. We've seen them dominate this event in the short course format for, I'm not sure, the past 3 or 4 short course world championships dating way back to 2012. Now that young brigade's coming through, as we've seen from swimmers like Minakov, Ponti, Revolta. So the experience of Leclos and Shields, it's going to be tested tonight in these semi-finals.
A lot to look forward to. Plenty of finals, 8 finals coming up this evening, and plenty of semi-finals as well. As we get the full list of results there from the men's 100 metre butterfly. It's now the turn of the women, the women's 200 metres butterfly. So we've got 6 starters here in the first of 4 heats. Avila Manchia of Honduras, Ripkova from Slovakia, Kreva of Serbia. Then you've got Dobram of Romania in lane number 5, Lima of Angola, and Ortiz of Costa Rica.
Yes, the first of only 4 heats in this women's 200 metres butterfly. So this is the only unseeded heat that we have here. The next 3 heats, 30 swimmers coming up after this. They will be competing for a top 8 spot in tonight's final. So heat number 1 in the water, we've got Ripkova leading it out so far there in lane number 3. Also there, Kreva slightly ahead of her now, swimming in the top of the yellow lanes. as they get to the halfway point in this one.
It's lane 4, Cravat, who's got an entry time of 2:13.13, and she goes through the halfway point in 58.24. In fact, that was the world record. She was 3.5 seconds beyond that mark as she went through the halfway mark. She'd be pretty happy if she was down at that level. She goes through 1:25 now, Cravat in front.
In saying that, 1:01 is still a pretty quick split time here, especially out of the unseeded heats, just 3 seconds over the world record. So Cravat, she does have an entry time of 2:13.1. That was a 33-second split. She's going to be well under 2:10 here if she can keep this up.
Comfortable lead over the swimmer from lane number 3, that is Rybkova of Slovakia. And in third place, probably in lane number 5, it'll be Dobrin of Romania. Less than 25 to swim as we follow our race leader underwater. Up she comes now, stroking away. She's got half the length of the pool remaining. She leads by a body length and a half. This is Cravat. Rybkova in second place. And third, touching the wall right now, it's Manchia who finished hard. The swimmer from Honduras in lane number 2. Dobrin in fourth placing, Ortiz, and now finishing it is Lima from Angola. So the time 2:09.33. That's 4 seconds, almost 4 seconds inside her entry time. And that is a very good heat swim for this 19-year-old from Serbia. Getting experience at a major international meet like this. We see so many new names getting the experience and taking that experience home to their local competitions in the early heat swimming at World Championship level. Let's check on the result here. The women's 200 metres butterfly, heat number 1. As we await, the swimmers in heat number 2 await as well. 2:09.33, 2:11.41 and 2:12.9 for second and third. Righto, the first of the seeded heats now. Heat 2. Quickly off the blocks there was Ustendag of Turkey in lane number 1. Ugulkova is swimming out of lane 2. She had a really good World Cup meet. She won the event in Budapest. Chimrova and Markova in lanes 4 and 5. Monteiro was 6th in 2018. She's in 6th. And 4th in 18 was Granyan in lane 7. And in lane number 8, we look out for Ellen Walsh, who was a silver medalist last night in the 400 IM.
Yeah, Walsh from Ireland. Butterfly is her strongest stroke, so there she is, second bottom from the screen in lane 8. She's got great underwater kick. She's starting to clear out from the swimmers next to her, but it's the 2 swimmers representing the Russian Swimming Federation in the middle yellow lanes. That's Shimrova in 4 and Markova in 5. It's Markova leading this one through the halfway point.
So Markova will turn in front of the 100. And she's got a split of 59.38 in second place. Ugulkova from lane 3, the Swiss swimmer. And then it's Chimrova, the second of the Russian Swimming Federation entrants here. Walsh is back 4th.
Yeah, Walsh is just falling off a little bit. As mentioned previously, it can be pretty tough to back up the morning after doing 2 400-metre events, whether that be the freestyle or individual medley, which we saw yesterday for the women. And now we're starting to see Shimrova move through in the middle lanes. Lane number 4.
Yes, challenging her teammate there, Markova. A little between that pair, and also lane number 3, Ugulkova. I mentioned fresh from the World Cup circuit. She perhaps has dropped back just a touch now. It's the 2 girls in 4 and 5 who are fighting out the lead as they turn to bring it home now. It's going to be a great finish in lane number 4, Chimrova of the Russian Swimming Federation, 5th in Tokyo, 7th at the last World Championships, and she's going to take out this heat. She wins it in a time here of 2:05.12 over her teammate Anastasia Markova and Maria Ugakova in 3rd.
Yes, the two swimmers from the Russian Swimming Federation, 1st and 2nd in that heat. Very experienced is Svetlana Chimrova. Has the unorthodox old school style of butterfly, breathing to the side so that you don't have to lift your head as high out of the water. Most swimmers nowadays breathing forwards. She was very relaxed and controlled through the first 100 meters of the race and made her move through the back 50 meters. Gets the heat win over her teammate Markova. Just 16 is Markova, so that's a great experience to swim at the World Championships.
So the Russian Swimming Federation 1st and 2nd in the first of the seeded heats. Switzerland and China 3rd and 4th. The second last of the heats here. Another swim here for Savard of Canada. This is heat 3, and it features in lane number 2 the gold medalist from the 400 individual medley last night, the Canadian, the 23-year-old Canadian Tessa Seplucha. Bianchi and Pudar in 4 and 5. Hufnagel of Austria in lane number 6.
Yeah, Seplucha back in the water. The strong Canadian team that's represented here with her teammate Savard. Just falling back a little bit there is Catherine Savard. We have seen her race already, a couple of relays for the Canadian team, but touching in first is Pudar in lane number 5. Above her is Bianchi from Italy. She's also got that side breathing in her butterfly there in the blue suit. You can see the different breathing styles, especially that overhead angle there, just breathing under her arm so that she doesn't have to lift her head as high out of the water, save a little bit more energy to put into the turns and the kicking part of the race. But it's still, actually we have a new leader from Mexico, Marta Coco.
She's largely unsighted out there in lane number 4 as far as the rest, lane number 8 as far as the rest of the field's concerned, but she's been prominent throughout. She led, she may have just about relinquished the lead now from lane number 5. It's Pudar, who has taken over the lead. The girl from Mexico, Marta Coco, is still there in 2nd place. Cusinato in 3rd, and then Bianchi of Italy in lane number 4 is in 4th placing.
Yeah, Cusinato coming through, the 2nd of the Italians in lane number 7, just to put a bit of pressure on Marta Coco. Next to her in lane 8, Cusinato was in that 400 IM final last night too, but it's still Pudar in lane number 5. The white cap middle of the pool. Can she hang on?
She's out by around half a length, and she is going to touch in a time here of 2:06.07. Cusinato got up for 2nd placing from lane 7, so the Italian 2nd, and the 2nd of the Italians, Bianchi, in lane 4, grabbed 3rd.
Great heat 3 win there from Lana Pudar. Just 15 years old, winning a seeded heat at the World Championships. 2:06.0. Well and truly putting her name out there to get more experience and try and qualify for this final. We're just seeing so many young swimmers perform really well over the first 2 days of these championships, and she takes out heat 3.
In a time of 2:06.07 by over half a second over Cusinato. Bianchi 3rd. And the final heat here with Zhang Yufei, the Olympic champion, in lane 4. Susanna Jakobus of Hungary in lane number 5. So lane 7 empty now. And also no swimmer in lane number 9. So Zhang and Jacobus, the two highly credentialed swimmers in 4 and 5, the Olympic champion, and Jacobus successful with 2 wins on the World Cup circuit. They're flanked there by Hook in 3 and Lattinen of Finland in lane number 6.
Yeah, Zhang Yufei already with a huge lead across this first 50 meters of the race, well ahead of world record pace. She swam very similar to this in the Olympic final, just took it out fast. She's got great speed in the early part of her butterfly races, and she's got that endurance to hold on. So she won the Olympic final by a large margin in an event where we're sort of lacking a real dominant winner in this event on the women's scene over the last number of years, as Maria Belmonte, the world record holder, has suffered a few injuries and is coming towards the back end of her career. Zhang Yufei from China has taken over that mantle, and she's just fallen a little bit off world record pace now.
Yeah, she was under world record pace by about 0.6 of a second. Now she's outside world record pace by around 0.4 of a second, but it's still a big margin she has. The 23-year-old from China, Zhang Yufei, in lane number 4. Second would be held down by Jacobus in 5, and over in lane number 1 you've got Diamante of Brazil, who is not too far away from second, holding third at the moment as they turn at the 150.
Yeah, it's a 1.3 second lead over Jacobus below her, but the Brazilian up in lane 1 is making a move as well. So Zhang Yufei, she really hasn't extended that lead at all after the first 50 meters. That the other swimmers might have actually just taken a little bit of ground off her, but it was too big after the first 2 laps.
She's looking a bit on the tired side. You can understand it in the 200 meters butterfly, but she took it out so hard, and she's really searching for the wall at the moment. She ends up taking out this last of the heats in 2:05.73. Zhang Yufei, the Olympic champion, over Jacobus 2:06.41, and it was Hook who ended up third in front of Diamante.
Yeah, good enough to win the heat. Zhang in the pink suit was a huge lead over 50 meters. Well in front of world record pace, and then really faded back to the field across that last 50 meters. Jacobus was swimming her down in the black cap, was probably only about 10 meters away from passing her. Unconvincing win from the Olympic champion, but she will be one of the fastest qualifiers for the final still.
So she ends up with a time of 2:05.73 and around 3/4 of a second in front of Jacobus. Hook third, 2:06.55. And it means that the summary looks like this going through to the final, headed by Shimrova and Zhang Yufei, the second fastest. She'll have lane 5. And the second of the Chinese swimmers, Zhu, is the first reserve with 2:06.92.
Yes, 2:05s and 2:06s required to make that final. So we'll see Zhang, the Olympic champion, in the middle of the pool alongside the 2 swimmers from the Russian Swimming Federation, Shimrova and the young 16-year-old Markova. So a lot of youth and experience mixed in for that women's 200 fly final.
It's a mixed 4x50 meters freestyle relay coming up now. This is always interesting, and Bobby Hurley's got the job of trying to sort out exactly where they are in the pool, because this changes dramatically, doesn't it, with the men and the women, and all 4 strokes as well.
It's going to be a pretty crazy one to watch. This is the freestyle relay though, so we will generally see 2 men lead off just to try and get a lead and a bit of clean water for the rest of the team. So the general format is 2 men followed by 2 women, but we'll see if any countries are going to try and differentiate from that that normal format.
Well, it looks like Angola will go male and then female out of lane 0, and Malawi as well. male as far as Malawi's concerned. So no teams there in 2 and 5. Off we go then. Angola in 0 with Gordo leading out. Backman of the Seychelles. Across to lane number 3, the Faroe Islands, Eastgard. Hong Kong with then down to Thailand and Senegal, Guam and Malawi. And before you know it, we'll be into the second leg.
Yeah, we see one team from Guam that's leading off a female swimmer at the start, but already in the lead, that's the team from Hong Kong. 22.2 for Chek Yun.
Hong Kong with a big lead here, but as we mentioned, this can change pretty dramatically depending on if it's a male or female in the water at any time. Thailand holding down second, Senegal in third, and it is Hong Kong who get to the halfway point in front.
Yeah, this is quick from Hong Kong. That was a 21.0 split from Ian Ho, and now we've got Siobhan Jorge back in the water. We didn't think we'd see her swimming this relay, so Hong Kong with a strong intent to try and make this mixed relay final.
Big lead. This is the first of 4 heats. Hong Kong coming down to the last of the changeovers with Jorge. She'll give over to Tam.
Yeah, quick split there from Jorge, 23.69 seconds. That will be one of the fastest women's split that we'll see so far today. And Hong Kong with a big lead, all on their alone out in front. There are 4 heats of this one, so they're going to need to post a strong time.
It's all about the time as far as Hong Kong's concerned. Tam finishes off the relay for them. In second place, it's going to be Thailand, and then Senegal will grab third placing. So the time for Hong Kong, 1:31.33. And the other teams come in now. The Faroe Islands, followed by the Seychelles, Angola, and then the race down at the bottom of the pool. Malawi getting there in front of Guam. It's over in the blink of the eye.
That was easy to call, just like clockwork.
You're quite right, though. When it comes to the 4x50 medley mixed, that's when it gets really confusing.
Yeah, that's when you see the teams mix it up a little bit more, depending on the strengths and weaknesses of their men's and women's team. But that was impressive from Hong Kong. Their male swimmers were great. Ian Ho with a 21.0 split time. That's really world class. And of course, Siobhan Jorge delivering a 23-point split time for their team. That's the time to beat, 1:31.33 for Hong Kong. But should be good enough to make the final, but we'll wait and see what the other heats can bring up.
And we're about to see the next of the heats right now, heat 2 of 4. It's going to be St. Lucia in 0, Mauritius and the Maldives, Albania, the Netherlands, Turkey, Andorra. No Jamaica, no Bosnia and Herzegovina, but we do have the Cayman Islands in lane number 9. It looks like Jamaica have entered after all in lane number 7 as we're underway here. So we look for the early leaders here, and it's Turkey and the Netherlands in those middle lanes.
Yeah, the Netherlands team, this is a very strong team that they've put together in lane 4, but their lead-off swimmer, Putz, is going to get pushed from Sachi in lane number 5. Let's see their split times. 21.4 for the pair of them. In the water now is Kenzo Simmons for the Netherlands team, and they've got a lot of firepower at the back with Kira Toussaint and, of course, Renomi Kromowidjojo still to come.
So Turkey also starting with the 2 male swimmers, and they'll be handing over to the 2 females now. So at the halfway mark, it's the Netherlands in front by half a second over Turkey. Andorra from lane number 6, who have gone male, and then female. They are third.
Yeah, that seems to be the general order, and we know with the Netherlands team, their women's sprinters are so strong. Toussaint still underwater there, the backstroke specialist, swimming this heat for the freestyle relay, passing off to Kroma Wajojo, the world record holder in the women's 50 freestyle, is dived into the water.
And she's taken a 3-length lead as well, and she goes up to turn at the 25-metre mark as far as her leg is concerned. And Kroma Wajojo will bring the Netherlands home here. Turkey is anchored here by Özbielen, and they will take second very comfortably. And there's the time as far as the Netherlands are concerned, 1:30.50. Turkey second, and it was St. Lucia who finished off very strongly in lane 0. They've grabbed third in front of Jamaica.
Yes, a lot of firepower there from the team representing the Netherlands. There's Kroma Wajojo finishing that one off. Had a solid split time there of 23.9. And Jessie Putz, former world champion in the 50 freestyle, got them off to a strong start. Kira Toussaint and Renomi Kroma Wajojo bringing that one home. So their time slightly quicker than Hong Kong from the previous heat, but we aren't yet into the seeded heats. So we've already seen two teams really throw down the gauntlet. We've still got 2 heats remaining.
Righto, so that was heat number 2. And we'll confirm this result for you, with the Netherlands and Turkey dominating throughout. The Netherlands 1:30.5 to be confirmed. And once again, the technical officials just having a good look at the vision there to see if there's anything amiss. We've got France and the United States to come in the next heat, and the Russian Swimming Federation and Italy, the big name teams in the final heat of this 4x50 freestyle.
There's the Netherlands team on camera. We're waiting for the technical officials to approve this one. They look a little bit nervous. Toussaint and Kroma Wajojo there, just waiting to receive their accreditations. Toussaint will feature heavily in the women's 100-metre backstroke final in the individual event tonight.
So they are forced to wait just a little bit longer to find out if that result will stand. Adds to the tension. Meanwhile, the teams there for heat number 3 waiting patiently. I mentioned France and the USA in lanes 4 and 5, but the Canadians have been so good in the early part of this meet. They are certain to be prominent as well in the next of the heats as we await the result of heat 2. And it comes through right now, and no problems. Bosnia and Herzegovina did not start, but the Netherlands beating Turkey and Jamaica 1, 2 and 3. So it's all okay. Right, on to heat number 3 here. Canada in 2 to watch out for. France and the United States in 4 and 5. Armenia in lane number 3. The Dominican Republic in 6. And away we go here. Lane 7 empty. So the lead-off swimmers for France, it's Grousseau, and the United States, it's Zach Apple. Canada leading off with Leandro Edwards, who we saw earlier.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this Canadian team's going to stack up, but this is a great lead-off from Leandro Edwards, taking it out. That's a big lead over 50 metres. 21.00. That is quick. Leading off, half a second lead already. The French team and the Americans are back in third. That wasn't a great lead-off from Zach Apple.
So the Canadians in front from lane number 2 here, across to lane 4, France. The United States hanging in there as well. They're still in third placing. In 4th place to go across to lane number 1, the Bahamas, as we get to the halfway.
Yeah, big lead for the Canadians. Remember, this is only 50 metres of each, so you get that half a second or 1 second lead. It's very hard to eat into after that. The French team are moving through now. Hunter Tapp did a good job for the Americans, and Kate Douglas is in the water now, and they've really evened up.
Rebecca Smith, that is, trying to hold on as far as Canada's concerned, but the United States go in and officially lead by 12/100ths of a second over France and Canada.
Yeah, Savard in the water again for Canada. I think this is her third swim of the morning. No doubt she's tiring a little bit. Tori Husk finishing this one off for the Americans. In the bottom of the yellow lane, stays underwater. She's got a half body length lead.
The United States edging clear. Canada probably back in third, you'd think, behind France. That's the way they finished. The United States, France and Canada in that order. And a winning time 1:31.31 for the USA. Exciting racing, little between the top three. But the USA just too strong.
Yes, a lot of lead changes there in that heat. The Canadian men led that one out early before the two women swimmers got caught there, but assuming that they make the final, I think they can bring in a few substitutes for that relay, swimmers like Kayla Sanchez. But Leandro Edwards, the young Canadian man, swimming 21.00 off the lead-off, is a great swim. There's the touch. Husk for the United States getting the job done. And that time was only a few 100ths quicker than what Hong Kong did in heat number 1.
So 1:31.31 for the USA, 1:31.50 for France, and 1:31.63, 0.32 of a second separating the USA, France and Canada. The last of the heats here in the mixed 4x50 freestyle relay, the Russian Swimming Federation and Italy, the two big name teams here in 4 and 5, flanked by Slovakia and Tanzania. Singapore and Switzerland, the Northern Mariana Islands, and 0, 1 and 2, Uganda, Cape Verde and Luxembourg, all listed to start. Not sure about Tanzania. I think we'll find Tanzania and non-starters from lane 6 and also Cape Verde from 8. So the big name teams here, the Russian Swimming Federation and Italy in 4 and 5, Slovakia in 3, with Minikov leading off lane 4, Orsi 5 and Dusa in 3.
Yeah, Marco Orsi with a great start for the Italian men, but that was an even better turn from Minikov from the Russian Swimming Federation in 4. He's going to touch first, 21.04. That's very quick from the butterfly specialist as the second leg swimmers enter the water.
So the Russian Swimming Federation leading it from Italy and Slovakia. Switzerland would be 4th in lane 1, followed by Luxembourg in lane 9. As we get down towards the halfway mark, waiting for the Russian Swimming Federation, Sukova, Italy with Di Petro.
Yeah, we see these two lead teams lead off with their two males, followed by their two females. So pink cap now of the Russian Swimming Federation, that is Sukova. Got a great change over there. Got about a half-second jump on the Italian in the water. That's Di Pietro coming through in second position now, but it's going to be Sukova passing off to Nastradinova.
So it's the Russian Swimming Federation leading it out in lane 4 from Italy, and they should have enough in hand to take out this final heat. A bit of a distance back there to third placing, and that would still be held by Switzerland. And now they bring it home, and the lead is about 3/4 of a body length, and it is going to be Nastradinova who's got enough in store to take it out for the Russian Swimming Federation. 1:29.84, Italy 1:30.44, Switzerland finished 3rd and Slovakia 4th.
Yeah, good all-round performance there from the Russian Swimming Federation. 23.5 for Sukova was one of the fastest women's splits in the field, and Nastradinova 24.00. But Minikov there, left side of screen in lane 4, was beaten to the 25-meter turn, but here he is underwater in that yellow suit, stays under longer, goes deep. Look at that underwater dolphin kick, really powerful from the butterfly specialist. just 19 years of age. He's got an Olympic medal in his trophy cabinet at home, and he had added a World Championship medal last night in that men's relay. And they will be the team to beat for the final, the Russian Swimming Federation.
Yes, sub 130 as far as they're concerned. Italy 130.44 and Switzerland third in the final heat. So that is the completion of the mixed 4x3 relay through to the final. The Russian Swimming Federation, Italy, Netherlands, the USA, Hong Kong, France, Canada and Switzerland. And Turkey the first to miss out with position 9.
Yeah, Hong Kong doing a great job to get that relay team into the final out of the first heat. So we will see Siobhan Jorge in action again twice tonight, as she will have the 100 freestyle semi-finals as well. And also the team from the Netherlands out of heat number 2, qualifying in second position, I believe. So different countries than what we're used to in the middle of this pool. We will see, of course, the United States and the Russian Swimming Federation as one of the teams to beat, as well as Italy, ever improving on their relays as we get ready for the women's 800-meter freestyle now,
where Maria Belmonte holds that world record, sub 8 minutes, 7:59.34. So we were to have 4 starters here. We're down to 2, and that is Michelle Ramirez of Honduras. She has an entry time of 9:08.81. She's in lane number 4, and Daniela Alfaro from Costa Rica is the swimmer alongside her in lane number 5. So they've got a long way ahead of them. But it's important for both of these girls to gain experience and to get a good time on the board.
Yes, certainly right. In this 800 meters freestyle heat,
as opposed to fast turns can be quite dramatic.
Yeah, certainly right there. If you have good turns, being able to flip quick, get into that tight tumble turn position and get a good streamline off the wall, as well as those underwater dolphin kicks that we see Alfaro do. If you are skilled in that area, there's twice as many turns to get an advantage from compared to swimming in a long course 50-meter pool. But what people don't also understand is these turns are tiring too. Being able to hold your breath, use your legs, which is your biggest muscle group, to do those underwater kicks, it does tire you out. So we don't often see a swimmer at any level in a short course 800 do 3 butterfly kicks off the wall like we're seeing Alfaro do. So she's just at the halfway point of the race now in 4 minutes 24. And we'll see if she can hold these really good turns that she's showing us so far for the whole 800 meters.
Well, the good news is she's into the second half, 400 down, and it's now 375 to go as she's just gone through the mark at the top of the pool there. You can see the margin between first and second. That is Alfaro over Ramirez. And it's around half the length of this 25-metre pool. So she's got a lead of around about 12.5 metres as she turns at the 450-metre mark. And now turning behind her, Ramirez, as we focus on our race leader here, Daniela Alfaro.
Yeah, she's holding about 33 to 34 seconds per 50 meters. So she's been pretty consistent with that so far in this race, but that last split of 34.0 has just dropped off a little bit. So she might be starting to fade ever so slightly. She was 4 minutes 24 at the halfway point, and that was a 108 100 meters. So she can hold this up. She will be looking at a time in the low 850s, the mid 850s, which would be good to get under 9 minutes. Her entry time again is 9:19, but she's going to be well faster than that.
For a long time, the 800 metres was the longest of the distance events for the women. The men had the 1500 and not the 800, and vice versa for the women. But now the women have the 1500 metres in many of the major international meets as well. So the 800 is, well, for many of them, just a little shorty.
Yeah, the 800 it's a weirder distance. Now with the introduction of the 1500 for the women at the Olympics, we saw that in Tokyo for the first time with Katie Ledecky taking out that gold medal. And we have had that race at the long course world championships for the past number of years, but we don't have it at the short course world championships. So this is the longest women's race available here in Abu Dhabi. And the 800, it's almost swam like a longer version of a 400, if that makes sense, because it's nowhere near in distance the 1500 meters. It's closer in distance. It's closer in training physiology to the 400 meter race than it is in the 1500. So we often see some swimmers specialize in the 400 and the 800 and not want to do the longer distance, or some of those really endurance-based swimmers focus on the 8 and the 15, especially on the men's side, swimmers like Romanchuk and Wellbrook that we will see later on at these championships. It's an evolving process these days at World Championships and Olympic Games in terms of the 1500 metres. That was always the ultimate, the endurance. But now, invariably, you see the open water swimmers who swim up to 25-kilometre races also entering the 1500, and that makes that a short race. So yeah, it continues to evolve. What we saw this year that we haven't really seen before, more so on the men's side, is that those 1500-meter swimmers and medalists now step into the open water circuit. So they're challenging the open water swimmers in not their specialty, but they're too fast. They've got too much speed. So what many of the open water swimmers have said is that 10-kilometer race just got so quick we can't keep up with the pool specialists, and that's why Wellbrook and Palcineri are taking out those open water meter races now. It's just amazing, the fitness, the endurance, and of course the skill and dedication to duty of these swimmers, all of them, of course, as we get the bell lap now here in the first of 4 heats here for the women's 800 metres freestyle. And our clear-cut leader, Daniela Alfaro of Costa Rica.
Michelle Ramirez is the only other swimmer in this race now with just 25 to swim. It is Alfaro from Costa Rica. She's been out there all by herself. She's done a terrific job and she's looking to post a good time here. She goes in and she stops the clock at under 9 minutes there, 8:56.29. Ramirez is coming in with about 5 meters still to swim. Ramirez, full credit to her as well. She saw the leader getting further and further away from her, but she was swimming by herself. She ended up posting a time of 9:13.03. So full credit to both of these girls, Danielle Alfaro and Michelle Ramirez, in Heat 1 of the women's 800 meters freestyle.
Yeah, really happy was Alfaro with that result. Huge smile at the end of the race. Was able to hold those really good turns, speed off the wall in those underwater kicks for the whole 800 meters, which is incredibly difficult to do. And she gets rewarded with a time under 9 minutes. She's super stoked with that one. A huge personal best time, or well quicker than her entry time at least. And there it is, 8:56.29 ahead of Ramirez in 9 minutes 13.
The starters in heat number 2 here. A full field of 10 taking part, with the swimmer from Thailand, that is Kwamuang, in lane 0, and then from Northern Macedonia, it is Petrovska in lane number 1, then Pulford representing South Africa in 2, Opatril from Austria in 3, De Valdez of Spain is in lane number 4, and Dini of Argentina in 5, Simostorkic of Croatia in lane number 6, Dumont of Belgium, Valoni of San Marino in 8, and Angelova of Bulgaria is making up the field in lane number 9, and they start to spread out already with Kumanong of Thailand setting the early pace in 0, and also in lane number 4 it's De Valdez of Spain.
Yeah, we'll see how the swimmers settle into this one. The first 100 meters in the 800, not so important in terms of time, but you do want to be comfortable, find your stroke and just set up your pacing and your rhythm, because there's still a lot of swimming left to be done here. And it is De Valdez from Spain in lane 4, turning in 1:07. She's opened up a bit of a lead. Up there in lane 0 from Thailand is Kun Muang, who has just faded a little bit. She did take it out hard over the first 50 meters, but as mentioned, still a lot of swimming to be done left in this heat, with 650 meters left to go.
Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? 650 meters. We were talking about the open water swims at 10K and 25K, so it is a little sprint compared to that, but boy, you expend a lot of energy in completing this race. So it's the 3 leading out at the moment. It's lanes 4, 0, and also lane number 7. Those swimmers, De Valdez, who has an entry time here of 8:33.9. Kun Muong of Thailand, an entry time 8:52.3. And Dumont of Belgium with 8:44.09. As they turn, it is Valdez Dumont in that order.
Yeah, Valdez taking over this one. The swimmer from Spain, she's 23 years of age, so she's got a little bit of experience under her belt at this international level. Her entry time of 8:33, so she will be wanting to try and split at the halfway point, something around 4:15 to set her up to get a personal best time, or something quicker than her entry time at least. Now, looking at the 2 heats left to be swum, there is 20 swimmers left to go after this one, including bigger names like Simona Quadarella, Li Bingji from China, and the fastest qualifier is Kopichnikova from the Russian Swimming Federation. So it looks like from the entry times, something around definitely under 8:20 to be top 8 and make the final. Maybe even a little bit faster than that, maybe around 8:16 in this short course 400-meter race. So far it is in heat 2, Maria de Valdez stroking out in front in this one. She was a time of 3:07 at the 300-meter mark, so she's holding those 1 minute 03 per 100 meters, so she should be trying to split or looking at splitting somewhere around 4:11, which will set her up to swim much quicker than her entry time. Lane 7 from Belgium now is Valentine Dumont. She has a much smoother and longer freestyle stroke. De Valdez there with a bit more head movement, fighting through the water, but no doubt she's been working hard on her fitness to be able to sustain this for the full 800 meters. There's Dumont, second place right now, down the bottom of the pool, taking really long strokes. Both swimmers wearing black caps and black suits, so hard to separate them. Sometimes it is better to look at their technique and see what the end result's going to be come 800 meters. So they turned at the halfway point. Maria de Valdez 4:11.2, so she is holding those 103s per 100 meters. Valentine Dumont at 4:14.1. So if they can hold that sort of pace, they will be looking at well under 8 minutes 30 for this heat. And de Valdez, her entry time of 8:33, but she might be looking at something much quicker than that, somewhere around 8 minutes 25, which I'm sure will be a very pleasing performance. Yeah, definitely. We see Wang from China won at the home World Championships 3 years ago. Quadrella was second in that race. Quadrella is in the next heat, so we'll see if she can move up from silver medalist to something a little bit better than that, or try and get on the podium again. She did get a medal at the Olympic Games this past summer, did Simona Quadrella, so she will be one of the favorites for the final if she can get there and get past this heat. But back to the action in heat 2. That margin is closing just a little bit. Dumont from Belgium trying to chase down de Valdez from Spain as they turn at the 600-meter mark, just 8 laps to go. Yeah, Dumont is coming. She just took 0.7 of a second off that lead, so she's really eating into it. You can see Dumont there down at the bottom with more kick right now, a stronger kick, which is going to boost her momentum coming into the last 100 meters. And now it was a 2-second lead just 100 meters ago. Now it's only 1.2 seconds. And Dumont seems to have a little bit more energy on her side. So this will be a sprint finish down now as they come into the last 3 laps. Yeah, she just took another 0.4 of a second off in that 50, but 0.8 is still quite large with 50 to go. Well, now down to this last turn, only 25 to go. Let's see if De Valdez can hang on.
Good win it was there by De Valdez. Dumont really challenging in the closing stages, but she couldn't quite get there. Really good swim there by both of these competitors. In fact, all of the competitors, but a close finishing in the end result.
Yeah, De Valdez just hanging on there from Dumont. Dumont left her run really late. That lead was sitting at about 2 or 3 seconds for most of the race. De Valdez, there we go at the finish, that last stroke. So important to take the win in Heat 2 by just 0.2 of a second.
So there we have the result, 8:28.94, 8:29.17, and there was little between that pair by the end of it. So heat number 3 here. This is the second last of them. You of China not starting, so lane 8 is vacant here, but Quadrella, the bronze medalist from the Tokyo Olympics, the silver medalist from Guangzhou, and she was also the silver medalist at the last World 25-metre Championship. She is the best credentialed swimmer in lane number 4. Caselli alongside her in lane number 5. We've got also the American there to watch for. She was 4th in the individual medley there in the 400 metres. That was Wyant of the USA and 0. So some credentialed swimmers, and off to a very good start. Li Bingji of China.
Yeah, a few more big name swimmers now in the first of the seeded heats. So this is heat 3. There's one more to go. Li Bingji, there she is in lane 6 with the pink suit. She was the bronze medal winner in the 400-meter freestyle, I believe, at the Tokyo Olympics. So we know she's got a bit of speed, and she was on that gold medal winning Chinese relay team that upset the Americans and the Aussies in the women's 4x200 freestyle at Tokyo as well. So 2 medals from the Olympic Games. We have seen her perform well at World Championship level as well in the past, and she's still only 19 years of age, is Li Bingji. So she's out to an early lead here in this race, not too far off world record pace actually, just 0.41 of a second. But it's Quadrella moving through now in the black cap, the Italian swimmer, and also above her in the pink is Anna Egorova.
So China leading at the moment, and we expect to see some pretty slick times in this heat, heat number 3, and the final heat, heat 4. It is Li Bingji of China in lane 6. In lane number 4, Quadrella, silver medalist from the last World Short Course Championships. She's also the 1500-metre champion from Guangzhou. Quadrella, Egorova in 3rd place, and then there's a bit of a gap back there in 4th at the moment. It would be Caselli of Hungary in lane number 5.
Yeah, in just 2 of the seeded heats in these longer events, the 400, the 800 and the 1500 meters. Generally speaking, you will see the top 4 from each heat progress through, but so far in this one, the top 3 have cleared out, and there's a bit of a gap back to Caselli from Hungary in lane 5. So Caselli will need to be a little bit stronger through the back half of this race if she wants to challenge for 3rd position, or at least put a name forward to qualify for that final. But At the moment, it's all Li Bingji stroking out nicely. And she's got good turns too, so gets over well, pushes out well past the red markers on the lane rope, which is 5 meters, so she's probably going 6 or 6.5 meters, streamlining off each wall, which is a great asset to have. We'll see if she does any dolphin kicks or how many she does. 1 and 2, gets out to about 6 or 7 meters, and that's where Quadarella above her is taking many more strokes per lap, and arguably could be swimming faster, but just can't match her on the turns.
So the margin there, 1.6 seconds between Li Bingji and also Simona Quadarella. Anna Ugorova of the Russian Swimming Federation is also in the mix there. She's in lane number 3. And as I mentioned, still a bit of a gap there. Caselli is in 4th placing, the Hungarian, in lane number 5. And Wyant, Emma Wyant of the United States, 4th in the 400 individual medley. She's in 0. We can see her at the top of the screen there, turning right now.
Yeah, Wyant, a bit of a surprise entry in this one for the American team. She was a 400 IM specialist, medalist in Tokyo, and 4th last night, as you mentioned. I thought we might see her race the women's 200 fly earlier in this heat session, but she has opted for the 800-meter freestyle, and there she is up in lane 0, putting a little bit of pressure on Caselli for that 4th place position, and one of them might make it through to the final, so that 4th placing is important. Egorova from the Russian Swimming Federation fading slightly back now. Quadarella's made a break, and looks like Quadarella's going to try and chase down Li in heat number 3.
Well, Li has taken it out hard in the opening, 200 metres or so. She broke away from them. She hasn't extended her lead all that much, but it's just been a handy lead she's held on to. Quadarella in 2nd, Egorova in 3rd, Caselli would be 4th, Wyant in 5th. You'll move across to lane number 2, and that is Tunkel in 5th placing. So it's a matter of trying to chase down the Chinese swimmer Li Bingji. And we'll get a good idea of the margin as they go through the 550-metre mark. There she is turning right now. Quadarella turning 2.5 seconds behind, and then around 1.6 seconds behind Quadarella is Egorova.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to catch Li Bingji in this one. As you said, she just built up her lead early in the race, and if they were ever going to make a move and eat into that, it was going to be in that 3rd segment of the race, the 3rd 200 meters, which they're just about to complete here as they turn at the 600. So that was a 2:03 200-meter segment for Li Bingji. She's increased that lead over Quadarella. Really consistent across her splitting here is the swimmer from China. 30.7, 30.8, 30.8 all the way through. So she's just locked into that pace. Looks really comfortable as well. If she can hold this, she's going to be swimming under 8:10 for the heat, which is a very solid morning swim.
She has just under 150 metres to swim, and she leads it. Quadarella remaining 2nd, and Egorova back there in 3rd placing in lane number 3. And that's been pretty much the order throughout. So it's a matter of trying to get a good time on the board here. The top 8, of course, going through to the final. And Li Bingji, who just missed out on the medals at the last World Short Course Championships, the 25-metre championships in 2018. She finished 4th, but she's giving every indication here that she wants a podium finish, and she's going to set herself up for a good lane in the final.
Yeah, certainly. That was Wang that won 3 years ago, and Li was 4th. They quite often swap their success. I think Wang has been better in the short course and Li's been better in the long course, but Li's having good success here in this heat. 50 meters to swim.
She's had the bell there, so she knows that the end is nigh, and she is well clear of Quadrella in second place and Egorova in third. She turns for her last 25 metres and she'll be tired. The arms will be heavy, but with 5 metres to swim, Li Bingji goes in and stops the clock at 8:10.08. Quadrella 8:14.10 finishing second, and Egorova 8:17.03 for third placing. Wyant finishing fourth of the United States.
All right, those times will be important. Wyant up there in fourth, gets there ahead of Caselli. So the top four at 8 minutes 20 or better, but that was a beautiful heat swim from Li Bingji. 8:10.0. Doesn't look like that was anything close to maximum effort this morning for her. Got out to a good lead over the first 50 meters and just held her pace really consistently. 30.6, 30.6, 30.7, 30.8, 30.9, 30.8. I could rattle off all 16 of them, and they're pretty much all within 0.1 or 0.2 of each other. So that was impressive. We have Kopichnikova to come in the last heat. Is the only other swimmer that has been faster than 8:10 this year. So Li Bingji on camera.
Her winning time 8:10.08 by 4 seconds over Simona Quadrella, and Anna Egorova 8:17.03 in heat 3. 1 heat remaining, and there is the field for the final race of the morning session on day 2 here of the 15th FINA World Championships. So away we go here with the last of the heats here, and Kopichnikova is the swimmer in lane number 4 for the Russian Swimming Federation, Ghosts of Germany in 5. In lane number 3, we've got the Italian there, that's Caramignoli, and Grimes, Katie Grimes of the United States in lane number 6. So as Bobby Hurley mentioned, 8:04.65, the only time quicker than 8:10 belongs to Kopichnikova, and she is the favourite to take out this final heat and book her spot in the final.
I think she is the favourite, Kopichnikova. She's been 8:04 very recently at the European Short Course Championships, but looking at this field, these youngsters, Katie Grimes in 6 for the United States, 15 years of age. That entry time there at 8:17, that's her long course time. And we saw her race this event at the Olympics as a teenager and swim in that final, as is Summer McIntosh. There she is, black cap, breathing towards the camera in lane 8. She was in the 200-meter final last night, so we know she's got that speed. She's also only 15. So we're really seeing some young stars shine and break out on the international scene. Summer McIntosh, she's going to be a great swimmer for the next 10 years or so in these middle distance and distance freestyle races, but it's still Kopichnikova that leads through the first 150 meters of this one.
Kopichnikova was a finalist at the Tokyo Olympics. She finished 8th. She was also 7th in the 1500 meters. Summer McIntosh, as indicated, was in that 200 meters freestyle final last night where the world record was broken. She finished 5th there. And Katie Grimes, 4th place getter at the Olympic Games. Caramignoli is our leader here through the 200-meter mark in front of Kopichnikova. Ghosts is also swimming nicely in lane number 5. Grimes not too far behind in 6.
Yeah, Caramignoli taking over this one. Haven't seen much of her at the international level in the past. She's 30 years of age, so she's leading this one, but she's getting chased by a couple of 15-year-olds as well. So that's just showing you the real age range that we have here in the final heat. Kopichnikova in the middle. So this already looks like a quicker heat than what we just previously saw, barring the time from from Li Bingji. So we'll wait and see what they do at the halfway point, but there are some big names, and you can see they're in a tight battle now. So Summer McIntosh trying to break away, but there's 4 in a row, and even Isabel Gose, the German, in 6 isn't far away. So there's 5 top-level swimmers here that are going to be vying for a spot in the final.
Summer McIntosh has taken over the lead through the 300-metre mark. So McIntosh in lane number 8. And then you've got Kapitchnikova and Caramignoli, Grimes and Gose. So McIntosh in lane 8. It's often an advantage. On one hand, the swimmers in the middle of the pool can see each other and they know what they need to do, but you can sometimes be a little bit surprised at what's happening in the outside lane, and Summer McIntosh has that advantage. She leads by just over a quarter of a second from Kapitchnikova and Gose.
Yeah, if she's capable of changing her speed up and trying to make a bit of a move, then it will be hard for Kapitchnikova and Gose in the middle of the pool to go with her, just because they can't see her so closely, and also they've also got their own battle to worry about between each other. So Summer McIntosh, she did make a move. She did change her pace ever so slightly. Here we go at the 400-metre mark. It's 4:05.3. We saw Li Bingji turn in about a 4:03, so they're a little bit slower at the halfway point, but we'll see what they can bring in the second half of this race.
So 4 of them separated by very little here, and you have to bear in mind the times that are already on the board there. Lee with 8:10.08, and then Quadrella 8:14.10, Egorova 8:17.03, Wyant 8:20.65. So Wyant in particular will be watching the times here with great interest. You'd think the top 4 are going to be around about that 8:10 mark, and they should make it through.
Yeah, I think Wyant at 8:20 and 4th so far. I think she could be in big danger, because we've got a clear 3 leading so far, and 2 more not far away. So we'll wait and see what times they go. But if we took 5 from this heat, then only the top 3 so far will go through, which is Lee, Quadrella and Egorova. So we'll see how much speed they can bring towards the last couple 100 meters of this race. It's still Summer McIntosh, the Canadian, in lane 8 at the bottom of the pool, followed by Kapitchnikova and Gose, and Carmignoli from Italy in lane 3. She hasn't gone away. She's hanging on to the feet or the knees of Kapitchnikova in the lane above her. Katie Grimes in 6 is falling away ever so slightly. She needs to pick this up if she wants to make this final.
There is very little between the top 3 and also the top 4, really. It's Summer McIntosh, this precocious youngster from Canada, 5th place getter in the 200 metres freestyle, and she is leading at the moment only just, but as I speak, then you've got Kapitchnikova and also Gose. Gose taking over in 2nd place, but McIntosh with the lead of 0.07, just nothing in it.
Yeah, 6:10 split time there, so they're not going to go close to that 8 minutes 10 that Li Bingji swam in the previous heat, but they will be very close to the 8:14 that Simona Quadrella swam. So they're into the last 200 meters, or the last 150 meters now. Summer McIntosh again has made another move to try and get in front, and now it's Isabel Gose that's moved into 2nd place.
Yes, McIntosh, and she had a very good 50 metres then. She leads by 0.34 of a second. Gose from Kapitchnikova. And let's not forget about 4th placing there. You've got Grimes, because she might do enough to grab a spot in the final as well. So we keep an eye on Grimes and also Caramignoli in lane number 3. Summer McIntosh it is who leads as they go down to the 700 metre mark. McIntosh, let's have a look at the clock here. Almost half a second. She's extended the lead over Gose and Kapitchnikova, with Caramignoli leading Grimes in that battle for 4th.
Yeah, 100 to go. Grimes has actually had the fastest last 100 out of all of these swimmers. So she's been told to wait for the last 200 before sprinting. So expect the American to charge through now. Gose has moved ahead of Kapitchnikova in those yellow lanes in the middle. The Italian swimmer in 3 still hanging on, and Grimes is making a move, but There's only 2 laps to go now.
So we've got a new leader here with Ghost taking over from McIntosh, Kopechnikova and Karamanoli. It's Ghost in lane number 5 as she's about to turn for the last time. And then we've got McIntosh. The race is on to the finish here. It is Ghost from McIntosh. McIntosh is kicking again. She might have taken over the lead, the Canadian. She has. McIntosh in front from Ghost, and McIntosh, the youngster from Canada, takes out the last heat. Ghost second, Kopechnikova third, and Karamanoli fourth, followed by Grimes. The winning time here, 8:13.37. That is the second quickest of the times. We look down to time 5, 8:16. Grimes goes through as well, 8:16.01. So it looks like the top 5, and Karamanoli is also in that mix. The top 5 will go through to the final.
Yeah, that was a good sprint finish there at the end, and really classy performance from Summer McIntosh. Showed experience and race strategy beyond her 15 years that she's been on this earth. She just waited for them to make a move on her. Isabel Ghost hit the lead with 50 to go. But Summer McIntosh said, no, I'm going to win this heat. I'm going to touch the wall first. And she swims an 8:13 to qualify second for the final. So here's that last 25. She's breathing away from Ghost. Then she switches halfway to go, kicks a little bit stronger, and does what's required to win that heat. So that tells me that Summer McIntosh has got a lot more speed and energy to put into this race come finals time.
Well, the Canadians continue to impress, this time in the form of Summer McIntosh, 8:13.37 over Isabel Ghost and Anastasia Kopechnikova, 1, 2 and 3. Karamanoli of Italy and Grimes, the United States, also through to the final. And that final lineup looks like this, with Li Bingji, the clear-cut fastest time here. McIntosh and Ghost. Egorova makes it through with 8:17.03, but Wyant is the one who misses out here, 8:20.65. She becomes the first reserve for the women's 800 metres freestyle final.
Yeah, what a good final that will be. Li Bingji easily the quickest through those heats this morning, and will be the hot favourite in that final, which will be tomorrow night, not tonight. They get tonight off and the next 36 hours to recover. But from what we saw this morning, Summer McIntosh is well and truly capable of matching the early speed of Lee, as well as the endurance for the back part of that race.
Well, it's been a terrific night. Let's have a look at what's ahead of us tonight. And we've got all of these finals coming up. We're going to start with the splash and dash, the medley relay final for the women. The backstroke, 100 backstroke for men, the 200 butterflies. There's so much to look forward to. The last of the finals, the men's 200 metres freestyle. And, well, that's at that point. And more to come over here. The women's 100 backstroke, and then we've got that mixed 4x50 freestyle final. And, of course, plenty of medals to be presented along the way. Day 2 of finals here at the 15th FINA World 25 metre Championships in Abu Dhabi. It's been a terrific session of swimming. Plenty of highlights, Bobby.
And highlights of the second morning of heats here at the 15th FINA World Championships in Abu Dhabi. We saw the stars back in the water in the men's 200 metres freestyle. Duncan Scott and Dennis Rapsys qualifying for that final. And of course, the women's 100 metre freestyle. Siobhan Jorge, the newly minted world record holder from Hong Kong, the fastest qualifier for those semi-finals. The men's 100 fly, we saw the usual suspects make it back. Shields and Leclos a little further back in the field, with a host of young stars qualifying in the top order. The women's 200 butterfly, the Chinese swimmers were strong. The mixed relay, for the first time here at these championships, we saw 2 men partner with 2 women over the 4x50 metres freestyle event. We close the session with the 800 metres freestyle. Daniela Alfaro, a huge personal best time, and wasn't she happy about it?
Yes, what a session we've had here. We've got a wonderful evening session with 8 gold medals to be decided. That'll happen in a few hours from now here at Abu Dhabi.